So, one of the real life just realities of being family on mission with kids, with a full time job, with also trying to be on mission to a people, place, or passion, which we are in a place right now, is that you've got to learn how to schedule your priorities. You've got to learn how to do more than even just manage your schedule, but identify what's most important and make sure it actually happens. So in this video, we're going to unpack for you how it is that as a family, we identify our priorities and then schedule them each week. So that's coming up. Hey guys, my name's Mark.
I'm Megan.
And
I'm a little camera shy.
this is our family on mission. Our twins are inside sleeping right now, which is what's allowing us to even do this. Otherwise, we're finding the little moments in the day. But we wanted to share with you today about how we schedule our priorities. And I think a lot of time people are asking the question practically, like, how do you manage your schedule, especially if you're wanting to make disciples and you've got a full-time job and you're not on a missions, a full-time missionary on a mission salary or whatever. How do you actually fit this in? A lot of people have different ideas for how to do this. One of the ways that we do it is by identifying our big rocks and then scheduling them in first thing every week. I think one of the questions that we'll ask is that acronym WIG take. What's it going to take? And so this is the idea of starting not just with what do we have the ability to do or what do we even feel drawn to or get excited about, but what's it going to actually take? What's it going to take to reach our apartment complex? What's it going to take to reach a people group in our city or those within a passion or hobby? What's it going to actually take? How many people need to be reached? How many leaders do we need to raise up? And then that kind of backtracks to, okay, then what does that look like week to week in our actual schedule? And so then from there, beginning to say, okay, if we're gonna make disciples, we probably don't have capacity to meet with 50 disciples, not even 12 like Jesus. We've probably only got this capacity to meet with a few disciples. And how many times a week do we even need to be in their life for that to be sustainable? So as we begin to factor all those things in, and we really identify it's going to take at least a couple times a week, one that's more structured and one that's more relational with a disciple, and sometimes we'll do that in groups. But as we begin to factor all those things in, we begin to identify some big rocks that are going to have to be in place if we're going to reach the vision God's given us and accomplish what's it going to take. So how we've done that, you want to hold up our strategy? This is our tool. And so we take these sticky notes. I bet you can get Post-it notes, right? Wherever you are. And we begin to write on each Post-it note a big rock. So on one, we'll write prayer. We'll write harvest time. We'll write Sabbath time as a family. She's making one.
Prayer.
So we'll write one on each sticky note, and then we have a whiteboard in our house that we've taken a permanent marker and drawn out a grid.
Fun.
of morning, afternoon, and evening. So each day has 3 blocks on it, 7 days in a block, or 7 days in a week, and then 3 blocks down. And so each week we have a set time, and our day used to be Sundays, and now that's becoming our Sabbath this season. So things change. And now that's becoming a Saturday that we're going to do that. But we take a day each week, and our goal is to sit down and hash through this. Oftentimes we have some conflict
We
and
often epically fail.
and have to process through it all. But the point is that in the struggle, we actually begin to identify where the big rocks fall in our week. So it's really helpful.
Yeah. One of the things we've done is we've taken time to pray and ask God what he wants us to focus on in whatever season we're in. So, like, what does he want? So we have a few rocks for like rhythms of rest and connection with each other and with God. And that, might be different for different people. But like one of those rocks for me is fun. We have like a family day, times of prayer. So those are some rhythms with rest and connection that we have. So we just ask the Lord, like, God, what do you want us to prioritize? And you can't prioritize everything. So you're asking God for what are the big things that I need to make space for every single week in order to be healthy and joyful and connected to you, living a purposeful life. We also, ask him for, like, God, what do you want us to be doing for sharing your love with others and advancing your kingdom?
Hi, guys.
Our neighbors are really fun. So this has really helped us because, we can't fit. We'll show you a screenshot of our board.
I'll edit it.
But it helps us, you can't put everything you're doing on this. We can't put everything we're doing on this board. It would be a crazy mess. But it helps us kind of get vision for the week of blocking out those things that are most important. And then we also have like our, individual calendars and schedules that we use for all of our tasks and meetings and, all that kind of stuff. Because if we don't, our whole life is going to be filled with urgent things. So one thing that we're doing as well is, until we find, so we're looking for people of peace that are hungry for Jesus and they're pursuing, or they're responsive to Jesus. They might not know him yet and they might not be following him yet, but there's an openness. They receive the messenger, the message, and the mission. So sometimes that's a process of figuring out if they're a person of peace. So we're looking for those people in the communities or in the businesses or the interest groups that we're going into. And so we're going out and we're praying, we're sharing spiritual stories, and we're trying to find those people that are open. And until you find those people, most of what we've been doing is just prayer walking, praying that the kingdom would come, and sharing with people. And then once we find those people, a lot of our time is going to be spent meeting with them and sharing Bible stories. And so it's kind of challenging as a parent and someone who works full time, but it's like just carving out that time where no matter what's going on that day, even if I'm just walking around praying and not talking to anybody, I'm going to try to be intentional and purposeful and getting out.
Hi.
And making space for the things that I say I value the most, even if it's just watching my boys run around like crazy and praying while I'm at the park. So that's just an example of what, as a mom, blocking out some of those things looks like. It's like I'm just showing up, and whatever happens.
I think that's actually probably a practical thing we could share, because this is our Big Rock schedule, and then we actually have a shared schedule. So whether you use Google Calendar, iCal with Apple, or some other app that you use, whatever you use, we have a shared calendar that when either one of us adds to it or edits it, it shows up on one another's phone. So it allows us to kind of be aware at least of what's happening beyond this Big Rock calendar. So we think it takes both and more to be able to keep track of all of what we've got going on. But this helps us to not just simply fill up our schedule, which I think is what you will do if you're not intentional, but rather to schedule your priorities. Big difference between filling your schedule and scheduling your priorities.
Right. And this has really helped me because I was finding that every single week I was trying to have this big time of prayer to figure out, okay, what do I need to do this week? What do I need to prioritize? And so praying about it for a season of time and having it's already on a Post-it note, and I might just be moving it around for that week. It's kind of reduced some of the mental fatigue that comes with all the options of scheduling. It's helped Mark and I be able to plan better together too, with less conflict. So that's been awesome.
So making disciples and accomplishing the vision God's called you to is just a good idea unless you schedule your priorities and actually carve out practical space to make it happen. So this is how we do it. How do you do it? Let us know. If this is helpful, steal our idea and use it.